All right, everybody, throw your Snickers bars in the deep fryer or your butter in the deep fryer or basically anything else because they will fry anything at the Texas State Fair. The question is, who is getting fried inside the Cotton Bowl on Saturday? Texas versus Oklahoma. What a game, Ari Wasserman, because, when Oklahoma lost to Tennessee and you kept watching Texas roll over people, you thought, all right, I don't know how this is going to work. But I've been to a few of these things. I've been to a couple where the team that was supposed to win got blown out. We've seen crazy things happen in this game. We've seen just great games. Like last year was a fantastic game that Oklahoma won. This is the first time this game will be played as an SEC game, but I think even more importantly, it affects both these teams' playoff positioning because Texas is in a great spot right now. Win this game, you're one step closer to making the SEC championship game and potentially being the SEC champ, maybe being the #1 overall seed. Oklahoma, meanwhile, they got that loss to Tennessee, but if they can win this one, they become a favorite to make the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can even emotionally handle an Oklahoma win here because that would turn the SEC into a conference that has everybody going to the playoff. It's a crazy, crazy conference, and this is a crazy, crazy rivalry where things just don't go the way you think they're going to go. Even in the years where Oklahoma was the class of the Big 12 and was beating Texas, pretty regularly, they still were 6.5 point favorites in those games. This one is supposed to be a blowout. And do we think that this game can go off the rails to the point where it's not a blowout?
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout because it never works out the way you think it will. So if everybody thinks it's going to be a 2-touchdown game, Vegas opened this thing with Texas as a 14.5 point favorite. It never works out that way. The question is, what do we get out of these quarterbacks? Well, we should see Quinn Ewers again for the first time in a while. Remember, Arch Manning replaced him when he had that abdominal strain. So we haven't seen Quinn Ewers in a few games. Is he back? Is he fully healthy? Are we going to get the full version of him? Because Ari, when we went up to Ann Arbor and saw Quinn Ewers play Michigan, he looked so in command of that offense. And as good as Arch Manning has played, I would still want Quinn Ewers back.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it is funny because Arch looked so good and he is the apple of everybody's eye. And Quinn has been out for 3 weeks or whatever it's been. You hope that there's no off injury rust in that game, right? Because this isn't the type of a game where you can ease into the battle, a quick turnover or something weird in the first quarter. And the next thing you know, you're in a 4-quarter game against a team that you're, inarguably much better than. So, yes, I don't know what Quinn Ewers' ceiling is for the rest of the year in terms of the Heisman discussion, but this is somebody that we thought would be in that picture. This is somebody we haven't seen in a long time, and he's coming back for, the biggest game on Texas's schedule. Hey, actually, maybe second biggest. They are playing A&M this year, and that one's going to be kind of rowdy. So
it's going to be kind of huge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They also played Georgia, just a little program called Georgia. They played it next. So the Oklahoma Georgia back-to-back wasn't the nicest way to get going in the SEC, but they're used to playing Oklahoma. I cannot wait, and I'm excited to go with you. I'm excited to see the spectacle, and I am secretly hoping that it's just another bonkers game where you're just like, what is happening here? They've played some absolute face melters, and that's what I want to see. Oklahoma starting Michael Hawkins Jr. It was interesting, Ari, that week of the Auburn game, coming off the Tennessee loss, where Brent Venables was like, we are starting Michael Hawkins Jr. It was like there was no question. There was no thought of going back to Jackson Arnold. This is the guy. They go beat Auburn. Now, one of the reasons they beat Auburn was because of a pick six. I don't know that Hawkins played the best game in the world in that game, but he did start and they did win. But it feels like you've got to be on guard here if things aren't working. Would Oklahoma maybe go back to Jackson Arnold, or are they riding with Hawkins the rest of the way?
Yeah, there's a rivalry game where all 4 quarterbacks in both teams, 2 deeps, have played. That was a terrible way of saying it mathematically. 4 quarterbacks have played for these two teams.
You're right.
Yeah.
They've all played this season, and we can imagine, well, we don't have to imagine, we've seen their offenses with all of these guys at the helm.
And we have seen in the recent past a quarterback move in this game. It turned out to be Caleb Williams.
Fairly significant quarterback move in this game where Spencer Rattler sits down and Caleb Williams comes in and leads his team to a massive comeback.
I'm just not in a position right now on Sunday, October 6th, as we're recording this 6 days before that game, to rule out anything, happening in this game. What if Quinn Ewers starts off 0 for 7 and is just off? What happens? Maybe nothing. I don't know, but I'm just trying to drum up some excitement.
You're trying to create controversy, Ari. How dare you? How dare you create the Arch Manning Quinn Ewers artificial controversy?
But, the whole story here from the Oklahoma standpoint is Michael Hawkins, with the week that they've had to prepare for this game and, get him further along, not coming in as a starter. Like, is he going to be able to throw well enough in this game to keep Oklahoma in it? Oklahoma fans will tell you that he can. He was a good passer in high school. We'll see. I didn't see enough explosiveness in the Oklahoma win over Auburn to make me feel like I love the air raid style there.
But too. That had something to do with
it. And what is that looking like now coming into the week? Is there an update on that?
Well, they're hoping that a couple of those guys are going to be back. They're hoping to get Deion Burks, Taylor Tatum back. Nick Anderson obviously is the one who made the huge catch in this game last year. It doesn't sound like they're optimistic about him, but it would be very nice if Oklahoma has a little bit deeper situation offensively, because I think that's the reason you had to go with Hawkins against Auburn. And the reason I think they made the move so quickly is they don't particularly have a lot of faith in their line. They had so many injuries at receiver. Like, they had to do something where they had to give themselves a chance on the ground. But I think with a little better depth at receiver, then maybe you can do some things. And we'll see if Hawkins is really the more dynamic guy. We just don't know yet.
Yeah. Truth is that this game is probably much bigger for Oklahoma than it is for Texas. Though if Texas turns out and drops this, they have a pretty tough, second half of their schedule. Either way, I think it's going to be pandemonium. I can't wait. And I think we're going to learn a lot about both of these teams.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Deion Burks, if he's back, that is a very big thing for Oklahoma. We will find out as the week goes on. But yeah, Quinn Ewers, pretty sure he's back. Michael Hawkins has a chance to write his name in the history of this rivalry. It's always fun in the Cotton Bowl, surrounded by all that amazing fried food.